Thank you, everybody. We're just about to start the meeting. Thank you, everyone. Councillor Madachi is indisposed this afternoon, so I'm chairing the meeting. I'll start with the acknowledgement of country. I acknowledge the Ballardong Noongar people, the traditional custodians of the land where we meet today, and the Ewart and Wadjuk people who are traditional custodians of respective lands within the wider Shire of Toodyay. I pay my respect to their elders past, present and emerging. The records of attendance. Thanks, Maria, you're ahead of me. So in the chamber we have Councillor Ruthven, Durie, McCormick, McEwen and Pearce, and we have apologies from Councillor Madachi and Councillor Wrench. And Councillor Hart. Yes, Councillor Hart is on a leave of absence. Thank you. Does anybody have a disclosure of interest related to the matter on the agenda today? No? Public questions? There's nobody in the gallery, so that's a no. And the same with submissions. So moving on to the business of the meeting. Item 6.1. 6.1.1, request for SAT resolution, revised 2022-23 differential rates and application for ministerial approval. Has everybody had a chance to read the agenda? Would you like a couple more minutes?
Clarification, yeah. We've got recommendation 1, recommendation 2, alternate recommendation 2 and recommendation 3. I'm not quite clear on which, if we vote for 1, if we vote for 2, or if we vote for 1, do we vote for alternate 2 or whatever, how they fit together.
Recommendation 1 is the one which allows the CEO to go to the SAT. And then recommendation 2 and alternate 2 is up for discussion today. And then recommendation 3. So we need to decide between recommendations 2 and the alternative 2. Councillor Pearce.
With recommendation 2 and the alternative 2, we briefly discussed, I think, last week that we may seek approval to get a differential rate but a lower rate. So is that recommendation is dealing with that? Okay.
Yes, that's correct, Councillor. Sorry, Madam President, if I may, Madam Chair. So it wasn't quite clear to officers which way to recommend, so we provided options to Council. So recommendation 2 is basically suggesting that Council decides to impose a differential rate at a lower rate in the dollar and seek ministerial approval. Alternate officers' recommendation 2 deals with Council determining to not proceed with a differential rate this year, but to delay that process until next financial year and bring the revised budget back to Council.
Councillor McEwen.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a logical sequence here, because if recommendation 1 doesn't get passed, we can't go on to recommendation 2, can we? Or can we?
Yes, you still can, because the Minister has not approved the the differential rate that was applied for.
It's okay, so we can vote one either way, then we have to choose between two and the alternate. So why, I know you may have explained this before, or somebody may have explained it before, why do we have to make recommendation one?
It's a very good question, Councillor, and it is the reason that we sought the legal advice. The department, you'll recall, also required us to seek, well, recommended that we seek legal advice on the matter. The advice we've received is that the Act itself is problematic, which I don't think that there are any surprises there, and so there's some question whether or not there is a need to go to the SAT to resolve the issue, given that the matter has basically been rendered immaterial anyway because the Minister has not approved it. However, the advice we've received is that to take the cautious approach and seek a SAT resolution.
Is there a cost involved to the Shire with that?
$600, yes.
So, getting back to recommendation 2, my question that I would like clarification on is what would be the benefit of the alternate recommendation where we postpone seeking a differential rate in the next year?
The officers of the department that we met with suggested that they would like to give us some feedback on the application process to inform future applications for approval. The alternate recommendation would give the opportunity to do that. There is also the fact that it has taken 7-8 weeks for the Minister for an approval or not to be issued. It just leaves the matter hanging in the balance a little bit longer. Those are probably the two reasons.
Councillor Pearce.
Following on from that clarification, if Council resolves to leave the application for a differential rate until next financial year, the work that has been done this year, can that flow on to the application for next year?
Yes, it can.
Thank you.
So did you say that the only way, did you imply that the only way to get assistance from the local government department is to make another application? Won't they assist us without that happening?
Yes, they will. They've offered to provide within the next few weeks feedback on the application process. So they're not saying that we can't make another application, and they're not saying we have to make another application before they will assist us. It's just that they are willing to provide some feedback on the application process.
Councillor Pearce.
Following on from my other question, what is the benefit to the Shire if we postpone the application in respect that we are dealing with Chalice in trying to get an agreement with them?
So Chalice has agreed verbally to cover the cost of extra maintenance on the roads that are affected by their exploration activities, and we are in the process of sending them invoices for recent grading.
Councillor Pearce.
So with sending these invoices to Chalice for the extra grading, is that going to cover our costs for that extra grading for this financial year?
It will cover the costs that we've incurred so far.
Thank you.
Councillor Durie.
Have we received a written confirmation from Chalice regarding that?
Not yet.
Councillor Pearce.
Have we sent a request to Chalice that they provide written confirmation that they will do this?
The plan was to send that with the invoice that is being prepared right now.
Thank you.
So my understanding is that they will pay in arrears. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor McEwen.
Yeah, so, I'll wait till we have the debate session.
Okay. Are there any further questions at this stage? Councillor Madachi, do you have any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Thank you.
Oh, I've had major trouble getting on. No, I don't have any questions at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, so would somebody like to move Officer's Recommendation 1? Councillor Pearce. Councillor Pearce, thank you. Right, are there any further questions or clarifications? Recommendation 1, yes.
I've got a proposed amendment.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Would you like to? Yep.
Yeah, I just think we should leave off all the words after approval. So leave out which will likely lead to the rate being quashed. I don't see that belongs in a recommendation.
Councillor Pearce, do you accept that?
I accept that amendment.
Good. Thank you. Right, are there any objections to the amended motion? Thank you, that's adopted unanimously. So, 6-0, thank you. Moving on to Officer's Recommendation 2. Are there any further questions or clarifications? Councillor Madachi?
No, I don't have any. Thank you.
So just clarifying that Officer's Recommendation 2, that Council requests the CEO to 1, seek ministerial approval pursuant to Section 6.333 of the Local Government Act for the proposed 2022-2023 rate in the dollar and the minimum rates for the unimproved value properties as proposed, with the table shown there, and to bring a report to Council to adopt a revised statutory budget for the 2022-23 financial year once the application, the outcome of the application has been advised. Okay, do I have a, sorry, did somebody move it? I'm lost. No, could I have a mover please for the Officer's Recommendation?
I'm happy to move.
Thank you. Are there any objections? That's Councillors McEwen, Durie and Pearce. Okay, would somebody like to second the motion? Councillor Pearce. Councillor Madachi, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak for the motion? Would anybody like to speak against the motion? Councillor McEwen.
Yeah, I just speak against it on the basis that we're in the process of negotiating with Chalice, and I think we should delay this issue till after that results of that negotiation.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak for or against? No, let's put it to the vote. All in favour of officer's recommendation 2? Councillor Madachi?
No, I'm voting against it, even though I moved.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so all against. Councillor Pearce? Yes. Thank you. That's failed 0-6. Councillor Pearce.
Do we need to have a reason why we have not supported that recommendation?
No, the motion can be lost.
So moving on to the alternate officer's recommendation 2. Would somebody like to move? Councillor Durie, thank you. Are there any further questions or clarifications? Are there any objections? Okay, the alternative recommendation is passed unanimously, 6-0. Moving on to officer's recommendation 3, that council receives and reviews responses and answers, including queries from the Shire President and other councillors and the DLGSC relating to the advertising of the differential rates and associated correspondence, which are at attachment 3. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Durie? Any questions or clarifications? Any objections? It's passed unanimously. Thank you. That completes the business of this special meeting, so I declare the meeting closed at 12:50. Thank you.